Oh, this is a nice apartment.
Whoa, that is so delicious.
Wow, this is truly spectacular. I can't believe that this is going to be my morning walk. Well, we made it. We're in Antalya on the coast of Turkey, and we chose this city for a whole lot of reasons. There's a historic charm, beautiful nature.
Delicious Turkish food.
That's right. Mild weather, mostly.
But as we counted down the days to coming here, we noticed Antalya was looking extra wet and chilly for this time of year.
So in my weather app, the rain is described as torrential.
I mean, we were expecting some rain, but it looks like it's going to be pretty steady, although somehow we caught a break this morning.
So Antalya is supposed to be Turkey's top beach destination, so we're kind of wondering if it was sort of a huge mistake to be here in the middle of winter.
Still, first days in a new city are always exciting. We check out our local neighborhood, maybe grab a bite, and always the most fun, taking that first look at our Airbnb.
So as you guys know, we wanted to spend the winter someplace relatively warm and sunny.
So we asked you guys for ideas, and we got hundreds of suggestions. So here we are in one of the destinations that got the most votes.
It's also the place that we had our biggest disagreement about, but more on that a little bit later.
So after a couple long days of travel,
Very
we're
long.
talking trains, planes, even an overnight in Istanbul, we're here and ready to make it feel like home. And so a big hello to all you nomads from Antalya.
So as you guys know, we are traveling full time and we're trying to bring a little more adventure into your life. So let's kick things off by taking a look at our neighborhood. So when we were making our plans, we were a little unsure of where we should be staying. Antalya isn't exactly a small city. It's got over 1 million people and it's really spread out along the coastline. So we did see that there are a lot of nice beaches and condos that are further out, and we do love those long walks by the water. But ultimately, what we decided to do is be next to the Old Town, which is the historic center of the city. So yeah, it's also the tourist center, and that's something that we usually try to avoid, but it also has the highest density of restaurants and lots of shops and some of that city buzz that we want to see. So this is our neighborhood, and the part that we just left is actually the true historic Old Town. So it's very beautiful, very charming. I can see maybe having a coffee there or a drink. So the rest of the city actually looks very different. So this is really what I consider to be the real neighborhood that we're in. And already, it's early in the morning, but you can see it's a pretty lively place. We've got all of the shops and the stores here. We feel like we're pretty well situated. During the day, there's going to be quite a buzz happening here. Everyone loves eating outside, no matter what the temperature is. So all these little restaurants will be quite filled up all day long. Overall, I'm really happy with this location. I think we've gotten pretty good at figuring out where we want to be to enjoy the best of a city. So of course, one of the things that we always look for in a neighborhood is some kind of green space really close by. And here in Antalya, we have very high hopes. So Gillian did one of her extensive map studies in Google Maps, and she figured out that we were going to be in a great position to have a beautiful place to walk. So in just a couple seconds, this little park should open up to a really nice piece of coastline. I'm really looking forward to seeing what it looks like. Ooh, I'm starting to see mountains. Wow, this is truly spectacular. I can't believe that this is going to be my morning walk. We've got cliffs, we've got the Mediterranean, we've got these gorgeous snow-capped mountains. This is unbelievable. So this is what I meant about Antalya being so spread out across the coastline. So I'm not really sure where Antalya actually stops and maybe another town begins. Of course, it is a little chilly this time of year, but it's still really beautiful. I
always do a big stock up on groceries as soon as we arrive in a new place. And it's always me who does it because I don't trust Stephanie to do the shopping. I think she makes her choices based on how nice the packaging is and barely looks at the price. Now, Migros here is one of the main grocery chains in Turkey, and since we've been in Turkey a couple of times already, I'm familiar with their products, so that should make things easier. Now, what I'm really interested to see is how prices have been affected by the currency crisis. The Turkish lira has really fallen over the past year. Of course, inflation has also gone up, so let's go in and see how things have netted out in terms of prices. Now, we will be eating out a lot, but I think most breakfast we'll have at home. So let's get these cage-free eggs, which are 24 lira for 10. I'll get this cheese, which is just 20 liras for this whole big container. Of course, we'll be eating a lot of olives here. I just got this package here, and it was only 13.5 lira. I'll get this big jar of tahini, which is just 30 lira. And I'm also gonna get some jam. This one's 26 lira, and it's got no sugar added. Looks great. I also got some vegetables, which were incredibly cheap. Add all these together, and we'll have the makings for a delicious Turkish breakfast at home. Now, I always try to learn a few words of the local language everywhere we go. It just makes shopping for groceries and everything else a little bit easier. Now, I have to say, though, that the people I've spoken with so far in Antalya seem to know quite a bit of English. Still, I like to greet people with merhaba and say teşekkürler, and maybe most important, bir porsiyon borek lütfen. Speaking of borek, I think that's the thing I've been looking forward to the most about coming back to Turkey. Now, I saw that there's this place here that has really great reviews and it's dangerously close to our place, so I'm gonna go inside and give it a try. Got it here in my little to-go container. Well, this borek looks amazing. It was coming out hot and fresh out of the kitchen, which is really the only way to eat it. So borek is a pastry that's made of layers of a dough that's sort of like phyllo. It's called yufka. And when it gets all steamed up, it is actually almost like a pasta in my opinion. That is borek done right. I can't believe this place is so close to us. I'm gonna eat way too much of this during the trip.
So this is the actual street that we live on, and it's really quite pleasant. It's got a lot of green in it, some really nice trees. And the one thing that's quite remarkable, there are so many wedding dress shops. Like, I think there are dozens of wedding dress shops on this one street. I guess a lot of people are getting married in Antalya. It's really quite interesting. Anyway, our place is just a couple seconds away. So this is our building right here, and it's a very typical building for the neighborhood. Actually, we had a really hard time finding the entrance, but it is there, tucked between this pizzeria and a variety store. So let's take a look inside. You can imagine that we weren't feeling too confident when we found the doorway finally. So in our travels, we've come across some not very appealing building lobbies in our time with our different Airbnbs. This one, I have to say that this one is absolutely, definitely the worst. So it's not very nice, but I promise you what's on the inside in our actual apartment will be nice. And at least it does have an elevator. So are you guys honestly starting to worry for us? I promise you, the inside is really nice. Come on, guys. Here we go. Oh, this is a great apartment. I'm so happy we went with this one. So in case you guys didn't see our recent video about our big disagreement, this is the apartment that all the fuss was about. So it's clearly a great apartment. We're gonna give you guys the full tour, but Gillian was a little unsure because the price was way more than she wanted to pay. And when I say way more, I mean it was like way, way more. But you guys can let us know if you think it's worth it. So this is our living room, and I am just about falling in love with it. So it's so spacious. The furniture is nice and big and solid, and the colors are really warm and inviting. So it's just the perfect place to cozy up in the evening. And of course, this right here is my absolute favorite feature of the whole apartment. So it's a wood-burning stove, and I don't know how common those are in Antalya, but let me tell you, it's the absolute perfect thing if we're gonna be facing down a few chilly, rainy days. There's nothing better than just cozying up by the fire. Now, the kitchen is on the small side, but it's compact. It has everything we need. It's been fully stocked, so it seems like it's going to be quite nice to work in, and the appliances are all brand new, totally clean. You have to love that. Now, outside the window, we have this wonderful balcony, and we've got a really great view of the town, and if you look far in the distance, you can actually see the Mediterranean. So the bedroom, another winner, really nice spacious room, big solid furniture. So it's a very comfortable room. I'm quite happy with it. I love all the storage space. Now we also have a second bedroom that we 100% don't need at all. And it's probably the reason why this place was just so darn expensive. But it came with the place, and it's another very attractive room. And that's the grand tour. It's a really great apartment. So Gillian, how are you feeling about our most expensive Airbnb yet?
Well, everyone knows that I was very reluctant to book this place, but I have to admit, it's the nicest Airbnb we've ever stayed in. Now, I won't say whether it's worth the amount we paid, but it's definitely a great apartment. There's really nowhere we've stayed that comes even close.
We did it. That's day one, all done. We're set up here in Antalya, and we're hoping for at least a few sunny days, kind of like today. So we've got groceries, we've got this pretty swanky apartment. Jillian hasn't commented on the cost for at least a few minutes. It's gonna be great. And of course, we're gonna be sharing all of the costs with you guys when we get to our roundup at the end of the month.
Now, February might not be the perfect time to be in Antalya, but we're gonna make the best of it. We can't have perfect weather all the time in every place that we go. Now, if you're wondering how we ended up here to begin with, and what our huge disagreement was all about.
So don't worry, you don't need to take sides, unless of course you really want to.
You can check it all out in this video right here. And trust me, I'm right.